Welcome back to the Bears Talk Podcast. This is episode 154. Joined with Nick Gwynn, Will Snowball on the call. Another week of football in the Bucs. How we doing?
Chilling.
Another interesting week coming down to the wire. A lot of, especially based off this past weekend and how it went down, a lot of playoff implications kind of getting back thrown into the fire, both on the AFC and NFC side of things for sure, especially with division winners and everything else like that. But like we always do, we're going to start out with Thursday night, which for fantasy-wise killed a lot of teams in fantasy because of how bad the game was because of the pouring rain in San Francisco. But we can start off talking about San Fran, how this is a season from hell. More so talking about kind of looking towards the offseason, what this team is looking towards. You know, you got to pay Brock Purdy, their aging roster. They got a lot of stuff to do. But we can kind of start out there just talking about the Niners in general.
They're looking rough, man. This is a tough one. Obviously, one of the three most injured teams of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can't really complain. Every team goes through injuries. It's just tough, man. They're in a rough spot because you never really won a Super Bowl. You never won a Super Bowl with this roster that you built upwards of 5-6 years ago, and it's just tough. But yeah, their season's over.
Yeah, I mean, you had a literal guy. You had Devondre Campbell literally say, "I'm not playing tonight." Like, I don't know if that sums up their season any other way, bro. Like, they had a motherfucker just give up mid game. I mean, no, like CMC came back hurt. It's bad. I think you sign Brock, but I don't think you overpay for him. If you're San Francisco, I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, he's good. And I think that with a healthy team, that offense I think they'd probably be winning the division right now. That's not for certain. But, I mean, with the weapons they have, once you get Ayuk back and CMC back, I mean, I think they're probably fighting for that division, if not winning it. But I don't think you go give him a bag. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth giving him a fuck ton of money because, like, if you can go sign someone like Darnold, I mean, I'm not saying the Vikings won't keep him. I think the Vikings would be dumb to let him go. But they just signed Daniel Jones, and they also have J.J. McCarthy, who they invested a pretty high draft pick on. So, like, depending on what happens there, like, let's say the Vikings made a weird decision, and they were like, fuck it, Sam Darnold, we're not signing you back because we have J.J. I mean, you could go get Darnold. He's going to want a contract too, though. But I think you just wait and see what Purdy wants. I just don't think it's worth giving him like $40 million a year. He's not going to want that, but he's been good. I mean, he was in MVP talks, 2 years ago? Last year?
Last year, yeah.
I don't know.
The Sam Darnold thing's interesting because basically from everything I've seen just throughout just Vikings media on Twitter and everything else like that, like the talk is that we're just going to play this thing out, see how it goes, see where it takes us before we start making any decisions like that. Kind of like a live in the moment, realize what you're having right now. But there's talks. One of the things I've seen is you can tag them. Like that could be something. That could be something interesting that they could go into. I know the Vikings have at least top 5 to 6 relative in cap space this year as well, and the Niners have it right here. They're looking at cap space wise. You have about 67. I don't know how many people they do have to pay on that roster. I don't have it up right now, but you got to think, I mean, if I am Purdy and you've been to the Super Bowl with this team and you've put up great stats, you were in the MVP conversation. I mean, it sucks this year. I think teams aren't going to take too much stock into this year because, you know, your roster has been absolutely depleted throughout most of the season. But you're looking at last year when you were in MVP discussions at one point, like 31 touchdowns, 11 picks, like, if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm looking at this. I was the last pick in the draft. I've been to the Super Bowl. I'm getting my bag. I'm getting paid. He's already done more in his career. I understand he's been with the Niners in a great system and a great coach, but he's already done more than basically half the people that are making over $50 million. He's done more than Trevor Lawrence, more than people could say success-wise up there with Dak Prescott. Like all those guys that are getting paid heavily, like you could say if Purdy's agent's going into these negotiations, like, he's been to the Super Bowl. He's taken the team to the Super Bowl. He has the yards. He has the touchdowns. Like, you know, he's a smart quarterback when you give him the right situation. Like, I think he gets a bag. I think some team, if it's not San Francisco, is going to swoop in that doesn't draft a quarterback, and this quarterback class is very weak. Like, there's going to be a team out of nowhere that swoops in that tries to go get Purdy, in my opinion.
Will they win a Super Bowl with him? That team.
San Fran?
Any team. The team that signs him for $60 million. Will they win a Super Bowl with him as their quarterback?
No.
No, they will not.
But it depends on the situation.
I don't think there is one. This was the situation. Last year was the situation.
So you think he would go somewhere else and regress?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like...
I think so.
Maybe not to, like, bum backup levels, but I don't think Brock Purdy is anything special.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's Sam Darnold. I mean, like, not okay, maybe that sounded bad. That sounded really bad, maybe. He's not like a top 5 elite guy. He's not a guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl with less than the Avengers that he had last year.
So,
and you're not going to get a team with the Avengers. Like,
they've got to sign some big name guys.
It's just not possible.
I have the quarterbacks making the most money in the NFL right in front of me. So obviously, number one is Dak Prescott at $60 million. That just happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 guys tied for 55: Joe Burrow, T-Law, and Jordan Love. Then Tua, who, in my opinion, I think Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Tua. He's making 53. You have Jared Goff making 53. Herbert's making 52.5. Lamar's making 52. Hurts making 51. And then, like, you get into like the realm where you would think Purdy would be. Kirk got $45 million, and he's a lot older, and Purdy's better. Is the gap between Kyler and Purdy like that massive to where, like, in my opinion, this season, I don't know.
Here's the thing for me, man. I get it. You made it to a Super Bowl, and you threw for 31 touchdowns. Whatever. It's for me. It's not about what you've done. It's what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I watch, he's not gonna do anything making $60 million. I understand that he deserves. He just made nothing over the past fucking 4 years of his contract. I get it. He deserves making $50 million a year. But we will not win if you are making $50 million a year. It will not happen. So if I am a GM and I want to win, it's for me, it's simple math. I don't sign quarterback that doesn't win with having the best team in the world last year. If the opportunity went to win, he had the drive. It was there. He could have won the Super Bowl.
The agent's perspective, like looking at Purdy and what would be the number I'm asking for?
50. I'm saying at 55. I would assume that agent would say 55.
I'm looking anywhere between like 46 to 55, somewhere in that realm where you got like Kyler, Goff, Tua, like somewhere in that realm.
Yeah, and again, it'd be fair. It's fair to ask it, but if I'm a GM, I'm not signing that check.
I think when you're looking at the Niners and what their situation is, and you've seen like the conversations of like, could Kyle Shanahan go somewhere else to coach?
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't think that it would go that far, because I think he's one of those guys where like you just got to stay with him. I mean, who are you bringing in that's going to do better, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're going to lose him. I think some team is going to swoop in and pay him, because I think the San Francisco's smart. They've also went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy fucking Garoppolo. So they understand the situation, and I feel like they rather take the risk in the QB market, or maybe getting a flyer 1 year, kind of like what you just saw the Vikings do, and seeing where that takes you, and just upgrade to their roster, which is what they've done the past couple of years.
Yeah, I just think it's front office malfeasance if they sign him to $50 million. I think there are 30 quarterbacks in the world that could do what he does for way less money.
They've got to sign some big names too in the offseason.
Exactly.
Fucking Charvarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Elijah Mitchell if they want him back. They don't need him back, but he's their number 2. Rock Yassin. They've got, Ward's getting up there in age, but he's still a top 15 corner in the league. I mean, he's their number 1.
Trent Debo a bag and Ayuk.
Dre Greenlaw's their second best linebacker, and when they looked completely different against the Rams on Thursday night when he was back in the lineup. And I know he's coming off an Achilles, but I mean, there's no denying he's one of the top linebackers in this league when he's healthy. Fucking Hufanga is one of the top young safeties right now in the league. He's still on I think he's coming off his rookie deal. He's going to want a lot of money. And I mean, if you go sign Purdy to $50 million, you're going to lose
half of
probably
them.
2 or 3 starters right there on your defense, and I don't know if you can afford that with the injuries you're
that
fucking
you get
prone
every
to.
year.
That just
You're
happened.
prone
Yeah.
to them. So like they're in
Yeah,
a shit spot, man. They're in a
I
really
wish I
shit spot.
had it. I wish I had it because I was looking at it earlier. So a lot of the signings that our GM Quasi did for the Vikings this year, the like cap hit that Kirk Cousins is going to make is basically paying for 7 different players that are making key impacts this year.
That's
And
fine.
I think they're going to need to kind of take a page out of that because they've been doing it for years with Purdy under the contract. In my opinion, I wouldn't re-sign him because of all, like you just said, all the stuff you have to do to the roster itself, plus all the things that you need to add. In my opinion, I think I'm doing anything I can to possibly get off Debo. I think Debo has just been, I think he's regressed. I think at this point, with how the offense works, I think the scheme to just get Debo the ball itself has just
he's not as
gotten
good
a
as
little
Jawan
too.
Jennings.
No, I think Jawan
He's
Jennings
not
has
as
been
good as
better
Jawan
than
Jennings.
He's on his last year coming up. Next year is his last year on that contract too. So if you can ship him off,
Yeah, if you can expiring deal somewhere.
I just think it's like he's becoming more trouble than he's worth with some of the comments. You saw the stuff that he did with the kickers and I think the holder earlier in the year, and then like, oh, I'm just not getting the ball. Then comes out and does absolutely nothing. Like
As
in the
long as you're
Rams game.
balling, the behavior will be tolerated. But as soon as you stop
but
balling,
you're not balling. Exactly.
So, brother, sorry, you are not worth it anymore.
And he's not even somebody to where like you're looking at that. Like I don't view Debo as like a top end receiver. I don't even really look at him in that kind of light. But when you have somebody like Jawan Jennings who's been balling all year, like in my opinion, he's good enough to be your
top 5
two.
tight end, and
you have
will come back and be better.
Yes, so
we know why you're
Pearsall. I think Pearsall's got a lot of upside.
Pearsall, bro. See ya, Debo. Like see you later.
They do not need Debo on that contract. I don't even know what he's making a year, but
good amount,
a lot. But they do not need him.
But at this point, you're just kind of hoping his name value can kind of carry him through some kind of trade at some point.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing the Niners needed to look at going forward.
What are they willing to give him though? Like a third, a second? I mean, he's on his final year. Like, what are teams gonna? I mean, it's gonna be he's gonna get shipped off to a contender, right? Like, there's no way. I would assume, right, on an expiring deal,
or a team that has a lot of money and wants picks
because he's pushing 30. No,
it would be a team that like just needs a weapon, just needs somebody that could possibly make a difference.
So by the end of next year, he'll be 32 already.
Again, someone who has money, needs draft picks, could just be a guy that could help Bryce Young.
Carolina could, but I don't know. They've got a bunch of young guys they like right now. They've got Coker and Leggett, so I don't know if they'd. I mean, and you already have old ass Thielen.
I think you could get lucky, and maybe it's a team like Denver, or like maybe like the Chargers, maybe just a team that kind of needs something offensively, because both of those, Denver and the Chargers, are kind of like playing the same kind of football right now. But like it would be like a weird team also out of nowhere for some reason.
Go
like
to the
Titans, like the Titans for some reason get Debo for like no reason, like at all.
I could see that
just for the draft pick.
Yeah. Like it would just be interesting to see where that ends up going. But in terms of the Rams, they're ahead in that division now. That was a big time back-to-back wins. I mean, they started out 1-4, been great ever since then, and they have some big time wins. They beat the Vikings at home on prime time. They beat the Bills. They've beaten the Niners now. So like now they're looking at this like, and the Seahawks, now Geno's hurt. Who knows if he's going to be playing this upcoming weekend? And they got the Vikings this weekend, who's been red hot. So like I think this is the Rams division now. I think they're going to end up winning it, and I think they're going to end up hosting a playoff game. But I just don't. Me and Nick have also talked in the past couple of weeks, Will, about how dangerous the Rams are. And like how good they can because the talk is like they can always make a run with what they have on offense, and I agree with that statement. But like, how good are they? Like, because we've seen them get rolled by Philly, like that wasn't even a game. We've seen them get rolled this year by some good teams. Like Detroit kind of handled them at the start of the year. Like, I don't know, it's interesting. I think they're a very up and down team, but they're hot at the right time.
They're very inconsistent, and I think a lot of it comes down to Matthew Stafford, because when he's playing when he's throwing those games when he's hooping, dude, they are fucking.
There's nobody better.
They're unstoppable.
There's nobody better when Stafford is balling.
like Stafford's. I don't know how old he is, 35, whatever. But
He's pretty
throwing.
old.
He's got some games this year. He's got like three, 4 touchdowns in a game, and they're fucking hooping. He's taking them up and down the field. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you can find that Stafford in the playoffs, I don't see why this team couldn't go upset any of those teams in the NFC. I mean, maybe Philly because their defense is starting to click, but Puka is looking like a legit like superstar in this league. You still have Cooper Kupp. I know he's getting up there in age, but you've still got Cooper Kupp as a decoy in a sense for literal cardio. But I think he's also acting as a decoy.
Oh yeah,
slotting
if
Puka
anything,
into,
if nothing, he is a decoy. He will be a good decoy
because they're slotting Puka into what Cooper used to do, and so
he
they're
is
running.
Like him and like Travis Kelce are some of the best decoys because like they're like those zone guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Pull people in and just like kind of like suck the defense. in a little bit.
And then you've got Puka on this 5-yard out, and he'll go get fucking 15 yards out of it for no reason.
Yep.
Kyron Williams is fucking Kyron Williams. I mean, I think he's.
He was struggling a little bit.
Has been.
He's a monster. He's good.
But he's a workhorse back, and he's not going to make mistakes, and you can trust him, and he's going to get that run game going. And as soon as that run game gets going and they get that play action, you're fucked. They're gonna just bomb one to Puka for 50 yards. So
they did just get Higbee back too.
Oh, Higbee, I forgot he's been hurt all year. I was like, they've been missing a tight end. That's the one thing. Colby Parkinson has not been the guy.
Nah, you know what? I thought he was gonna be better.
He was good.
I wanted him.
The first couple
I wanted him.
Yeah,
I also think fucking Stafford doesn't look at him. I think there's plays he's open, but a lot of the routes he runs are just straight to the flat. So yeah.
There's times where Stafford's only looking at Puka though.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I get it.
100%. There's some. I watch these Rams games and I'm like, this is what Cooper Kupp used to do before they had Puka.
Seriously.
Like they would run everybody else on dumbass routes, and it'd just be like a quick slant to Cooper for 5 yards. And now it's a quick slant to Puka while Cooper's running the dumbass route. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, I hate this shit. But I think the Rams could be very good. they need to get more consistent.
Their defense has
been about the defense
better than
that too.
I think
their pass rush they've got a young pass rush with Verse and they have another guy that I can't. Allen. Like they've got 2 young rookies that have been just balling out for their defense this year. And then out of nowhere, their cornerbacks decided to show up for some reason this year. So their defense has had its moments where it's looked very strong. And then you go up obviously against the Bills and give up fucking 40. So, I don't know. I think their defense, if their pass rush is on and Matthew Stafford is on, they can go beat anyone in the NFC. But they have to prove they can do that consistently. They haven't this year. So
it's interesting because with the NFC and how I think they're a very matchup based team. I think with how it's stacking up now and how hurt Detroit's defense is, which we'll get into later, like they're battling at that 3-4 spot with Tampa right now. They're obviously not going to get to the 2, but they're battling at that 3-4 spot right now to where like they're kind of looking at matchups with like a possible Detroit or Minnesota. I think Washington is a really good matchup for them. I think they'd
kill Washington.
I think
at home.
Yeah.
I think
Green Bay would. I don't think they would. I think Green Bay would be their toughest matchup out of anybody they would play. I think they would carve.
That is a rough matchup, but
they would carve Detroit's defense up right now with how it currently stands. I think they've already proven they can beat the Vikings, and I think that's a good matchup just in general of how both teams do play. But with Green Bay, I mean, with Green Bay and Philly, they're kind of like the same to where like they were not just going to let Matthew Stafford get the ball a bunch of times. They're just going to go on these long drives where we're just going to hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs, and we're going to continue to get first downs because we have great O-line. Same with Saquon. That's exactly what happened when they played the Eagles. The Eagles just ran the ball behind that great O-line, and the Rams couldn't do anything with it. And, like, if you're just allowing the Rams to kind of have to, like, do everything on these specific possessions, I think the Packers would do a great job of limiting those possessions and making long, methodical drives with their running game. I think the Packers would be a tough matchup for them, even if they were at home. Because the Packers are a fearless team. I mean, they made a run last year on the road.
Yeah.
Like, they could care less if they have to go on the road this year.
And their defense has looked damn good lately. So
I think they have a good stretch. I think Green Bay would be the toughest matchup for them, especially in the first round, in the wild card.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going
And
to
then
have a tougher time trusting Green Bay this year in the playoffs. I mean, not that I trusted them to beat the Cowboys last year, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything. I don't know. They're in a weird spot where I think they could be being overvalued going into the playoffs a little bit.
it just sucks because like with how tough the North is, like they're kind of getting in that like afterthought treatment because they're a 10-win team and they're the 3 seed in the division. But it's like I think they're better than Tampa. Like in my opinion, I think they're better than the Rams. Like
I don't know. I don't know. I think those would be tough games that they would potentially lose.
it's gonna be interesting. I think Tampa and LA being at home is gonna be very interesting for whoever is
that's
that
what
5
my
seed.
thing is. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Because when you're looking at like the Vikings and Lions situations right now, I mean, like if I'm one of them 2 teams, I'm like looking at, fuck, I could get a bye rather than go play in Tampa or in LA. Like,
oh yeah, the difference between those
like
and those 2 teams is insane.
Yeah, because
like
now
1-5, bro.
Yeah, the 1-5 is completely different.
I mean, well, and there is a chance you lose to 2 as well. There's a chance that Philly gets the bye.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and Philly plays legit 3 division games, so they got Commanders next week.
Nice.
Commanders need to win that game too. It's in Washington, and then they got Giants and Cowboys, which I was actually talking about.
Spoiler week 18.
Yeah, I was legit actually talking last night. I was like, I mean,
Mike McCarthy secures his job.
They've had a top 10 defense since Micah came back. I mean, like in division game,
is
like
Cooper Rush better than?
Stop.
Right, I'm sorry.
No, but Trey Lance is for sure.
I'm sorry.
He should start. He should be playing.
But the NFC playoff picture is going to be very interesting once it all gets settled down because it's going to be changing within the next 3 weeks, depending on what the Vikings do, what the Lions do. If the Eagles drop one, then things really get interesting for the 1 seed. So we'll see what happens. Next, do have to talk about KC. They handled the Browns this past weekend, but Mahomes did get hurt. Pretty much the same ankle injuries he's always had the past couple of seasons. But they're in contention for the 1 seed. The Bills are kind of back in that picture. I have seen some talk about possibly sitting him against the Texans to make sure he doesn't re-aggravate this injury and it doesn't become a bigger thing than possibly it could be. Because they play the Texans on Saturday, and then they play the Steelers on Christmas, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the next 2.
So Saturday and then to Friday?
Wednesday.
Saturday and this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Short ass week.
Quick ass.
So, in my opinion, depending on the severity of it, it sucks as you're jeopardizing possibly 1 seed, but I don't think they really care, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really.
I would just make sure he's healthy because you've seen this roster can go through pretty much any kind of injury to the receiver position that comes about, and you're going to be fine. Any like running back injuries, you're going to be fine. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're going to be fine. His health should be top priority. Whatever. I mean, you went to won the Super Bowl without having it last year and going on the road. So, and that was against tougher teams, in my opinion, that you're going to have to play this year. So I would sit him against the Texans for sure, especially on a short week. And the Texans haven't looked great. You could fuck around and win that game just off your defense alone.
Yeah, that's
Carson Wentz fucking legacy game right there. Mm-hmm.
Fine with either, but I mean, I would probably lean towards sitting him. But if they are worried about getting the 1 seed, that's fine too. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. He fully practiced today, I saw. So there were a lot of reports going out about him. Where are they at? So if they lose, let's say they sit him and lose. They're still a game above the Bills. Then they go shit on the Steelers.
That Rams loss that the Bills had really hurt them.
They play the rate. Wait, am I looking at the wrong team? Yeah, I am. That was the Steelers schedule.
It did,
but
I don't know.
It just put them they have the tiebreaker, but they're just
but they're just a little far out. That's just it. Just a little far out.
I don't hate either decision. I think their tougher game is probably the Steelers, though. So I would not hate them sitting him and just making sure that ankle is okay, even if he can fully practice and fully go.
Yeah, I don't hate him playing until he gets hurt next week, and I'm like, well, fuck, guys, you probably should have sat him.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20 though.
Because with a lot of pressure, but just looking at it, you have a 3-peat on the cusp. you have one loss on the year. I'm not taking too much stock into this Texans game.
Can the Texans
honestly?
move up? I mean, there's still 3 games left, so yeah, I'm assuming they can move up, but probably
Like
not
in
much.
seed?
What, you guys are 10. You guys have 10 wins?
We're 10-4. Texans are 9-5.
Okay,
Bills
so
are
never mind.
11-3. So we'd have to.
Still, so
we
the Texans are
lose-
still going to be going.
If we split with the Ravens,
And the Texans are pretty chill right now because the Colts just lost. So I mean,
well,
they're
now
they're
the Ravens are
they're
9
big
and
chill.
5.
Yeah.
So if we split with the Ravens,
But they could move up to the 3.
they
Because
could.
the Steelers,
Yeah.
again, are playing with the Ravens and then the Chiefs next 2
Yeah.
games. So
Ravens, Chiefs, and then the
Texans could
Bengals
definitely
again.
still move up. It's tough.
Shit,
I don't
know.
think
I don't know.
I'm okay with you sitting him, but this is
They
a tough
probably
race,
won't.
and getting the bye is pretty big.
I don't think they will.
I think
He'll probably end up playing. End up playing.
But I wouldn't hate them. I wouldn't hate it if they did.
I know he hates sitting. So,
Yeah.
And if there's one guy I'm going to take on an injured ankle, it's the guy who won the 2020 AFC Championship on an injured ankle.
Yeah.
Next, kind of talking about somebody we talked about earlier in Tua when we talked about the Brock Purdy conversation. It's just somebody who has never won the big game. I thought this game was massive against the Texans this past weekend. And the Texans coming off of a bye, but the Texans have kind of been sputtering a little bit because of how bad that O-line is. And then, you have a chance to go get back in this game. Interception. It's just one thing after another. It just makes me really question Tua, in my opinion. Because there hasn't been one solidifying performance in the past couple of years from Tua. In any meaningful kind of game.
He can't beat winning teams, and he can't win in the cold. And guess what? In the playoffs, you're usually playing winning teams, and you're usually in the cold. So,
because they're not good enough to get home.
You're not good enough to get the home field throughout the playoffs. So,
no.
For me, he is like Brock Purdy. Yes, I think situations have to be perfect for him to win. And you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane, man, I don't know how much more perfect it can get. Tyreek Hill's only going to be older next year and slower. Jalen Waddle will only somehow be regressing even more.
I think their offense, I know McDaniel's a good coach, but I do have to put a little bit on him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because I think their scheme, I think we talked about it a month ago at this point when they were really struggling without Tua, when they had Huntley in there. Their scheme has just been completely figured out. Their scheme, they're not good at getting the ball in the run game, but they're great getting the ball to Achane on fucking out routes and check downs.
But you can check it down to him, I guess.
So but they just don't. There's games where Waddle's not getting the ball at all. There's games where Tyreek Hill's not getting the ball at all. And then you get a big game from Jonnu Smith, who's been phenomenal for them. No. But it's just their offense just isn't as explosive as you would like it to seem. As soon as they go against a legit level defense like the Texans, you see that offense kind of sputter and kind of just go 3 and out here. Texans go down, make a score, then another 3 and out because their scheme is just not built to play against some defenses, and I think that scheme has just kind of been figured out because they just, like we said a couple weeks ago, can't make big plays anymore. I feel like they cannot generate big plays, and that's what this offense is dedicated off of.
Yep, that's what they needed to do, and they lost that element completely.
I think Tua's arm strength plays a big role in them not making splash plays anymore either, because in those splash plays, so much of it was timing based. So that offense is all timing based. So you get Tyreek Hill on a deep fucking 15-yard slant and he runs it for 80. I mean, Tua was never the quarterback to make 60-yard throws down the field when you have two weapons that can run 4 threes, not 4 threes, but Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are both just fucking speedsters.
It was never accuracy. It was never deep shot accuracy.
No.
And if it was a deep shot, it was him tossing it up and them running under it.
Yeah.
It was Tyreek Hill running to the ball.
I think teams are, like you said, Corey, figuring it out. I mean, it's all timing based. So you watch the offense and there's a lot of movement to trick you and stuff, but you throw that timing off, you get to his first read and it's not there, he looks lost. He's not, that offense isn't built for him to go through all 4 of his reads and then get the ball out. He looks for Tyreek He looks for that first read, and he looks at his second, and then eventually it's either a sack or it's a dump off to A-chain, and it's negative because they're playing the flat. So they look lost. Like, that offense looks lost. And I think the fact that Tua can't put that ball on a rope for 40 yards down the field, like, it's not going to have the zip behind it to need to get there when you're trying to put, like, he's just not that kind of quarterback. I think it hurts them.
And this isn't the Dolphins defense from 3-4 years ago.
They were good to start the year.
Yeah, they're fine.
They've fallen off, though.
Yeah, but you lost some guys, and
yeah,
there you go.
There's just a lot of times where, like, I guess they kind of like give me a little reminder of like somewhat of the Cowboys in just terms of like their personnel in general. There's just times where I'm watching the Dolphins, they're just getting pumped at the line of scrimmage. Like, they are a very finesse-based team, kind of like how the Cowboys defenses at times when they came to stopping the run earlier in the year. Like, they just don't, they're built on speed and quick passes, quick plays, and stuff like that. But when you play a physical team, like the Texans are a physical team. They have physical corners.
Yeah. The defensive line in those corners are fucking physical.
Like, they were just getting punked, like, against the Texans at the line of scrimmage. And it's just something I just am accustomed to seeing from the Dolphins, really. Like, teams are not scared of Tua's arm downfield. Like you kind of said, that, like, if it's anything, it's underthrown, and Waddle and Tyreek Hill are having to run to the ball, basically. But I just think it comes down to some of their scheme stuff I feel like teams have figured out, and also, like, Tua's arm, like you said, Will, is just not where this team needs it to be at certain moments. Because teams are just figuring it out. Like, if we're just gonna keep everything legit in front of us, and we're just gonna tackle, and we're gonna be fine. If they take 15 to 18 plays to get down the field and they have to run it in, so be it, fine. But like, everything's in front of us. They're not gonna beat us with the 1-2 plays downfield. Like, I feel like the Dolphins were made off of a year or two ago.
100%.
Yep, that's why he led the league in passing last year.
Mm-hmm. Going on to another AFC team. Me and Nick's Chargers. I mean, Baker came to town, put 40 on us. Listen, the Chargers are good. But, and me and Nick have talked about this, but offensively, they are definitely handicapped.
So limited.
They are so limited offensively.
So bad.
The moment J.K. Dobbins went down, I was like, that's where massive.
That's where
I
it
was
changed.
Like, that's insane of a
like,
loss.
Now it's just, you got just guys back there now.
Yeah, Kamani Vidal, bro.
And Gus Edwards,
and Gus Edwards washed ass.
I've also seen like Justin Herbert struggling recently a little bit. Like, whether it's him not trusting his receivers, he's holding on to the ball.
He's been carrying an injury the last few weeks.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
Like he's always fucking carrying an injury, man.
Something,
it sucks. He really is. Like, and it's not like he's faking it. Like, it really does seem like Justin Herbert is always hurt. It's just, he's either not hitting his guys or he's waiting too long to throw it, kind of like what Jalen Hurts has been doing a little bit recently. And it's obviously hurting the offense. Ladd McConkey just came back from the injury.
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson is like so hit or miss. He's either like a top 15 receiver or a bottom 15 receiver in the league.
It's
weird.
Run a route, bro. Like, I swear to God, Quentin Johnson cannot run routes. He is just a big body, and if he finds a space in the zone, get him the ball, but he's not running a route. He's not putting no corner on his ass. Like, it's just not happening. I don't know. Ladd McConkey is the only one that can fucking create space for that fucking offense.
Quentin Johnson just makes these tough ass catches. That's it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Tough ass catches. Ladd McConkey will have 10 yards of separation. And Quentin Johnson will have negative.
Herbert is like watching a young Stafford and Cooper Cup.
Yeah,
that's what it legit reminds me of.
I love it.
But,
I love it.
But the Hurts and Herbert comparison is interesting because they both have been prone these past couple weeks to hold on to the ball for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, like, I know they just had the passing game against the Steelers. I know that was a big topic.
That's what you wanted to see.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to see.
Is that what you wanted to see?
Jalen Hurts has people open. He's just holding on to the ball to hold on to the fucking ball. I think he's scared to throw the picks because he was throwing so many last year.
He wants a better look.
He's looking because there's no quarterback that is going to have the amount of time in the pocket than Jalen Hurts behind that O-line. So that alone, Herbert is holding on to the ball so long because there's nobody open. There's nobody getting open. You're telling me Jalen Hurts is holding onto the ball with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. He's just scared to throw it at
Saquon's
Fucking
just
Terror.
standing there in the fucking flat.
But like I'm like Herbert's throwing the ball, like holding onto the ball more so because he is just looking for somebody to get open, rather than just like
Will Dissly, please get open, man.
He had no Will Dissly. He was hurt.
Was he really?
Listen,
yeah,
he's been out. Less.
He's been out
from a Chargers stand from the start of the year. I still back the Joe Alt pick. I back it.
Oh yeah.
Has he been bad though?
But we could have gotten Bowers though.
But I mean Bowers. I mean Bowers. Like you would have had Ladd and Bowers. Like you would.
Was Ladd a second rounder?
That offense.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God. But he'd be
Brock
getting sacked
Bowers
so
and
much.
Ladd
Actually been really good.
Where did Neighbors went 6?
Yeah. No. 5. He was wherever the Giants were.
Chargers had 5. Giants had 6.
Okay.
Because I think Neighbors went after Joe Alt. I'm pretty sure.
So it should have been Bowers though.
Damn.
Like Joe Alt's
still
tackle,
back that
right?
Joe Alt pick. Yeah, left tackle. Still back that. That's your franchise.
What
left
happened
tackle.
to their old left tackle?
No clue.
Joe Alt 5, Neighbors 6.
Because they used to have. Yeah. Wait. What happened to Rashawn Slater?
Powers, bro. Slater's
Is he hurt or did he move to the right?
He's the right. I'm pretty sure.
He's on the right.
He's the right tackle.
Oh, they moved him to the. See, but you have Slater. Like, just take Bowers there. Oh,
like
you could have traded back on Bowers, bro.
Like when Joe Alt's a franchise like Pro Bowl for the next however many years.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like we get it.
Yeah,
but like you could have had Herbert.
We're seeing how good Brock Bowers is, dude. Like,
and Malik Neighbors.
He could have been a generational.
Why am I not seeing Joe Alt on this? Is Joe Alt a guard?
No, he's a tackle.
No, he's their tackle.
I'm confused. Hold on.
It's hindsight. It's easy to say this now, but they're still having a good year. Their offense is just.
Slater's playing left tackle. Joe Alt's playing right.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I think they've been switching it up a little bit throughout the year.
That makes sense.
It's easy to look back on hindsight and say that, but they have already still had a good year. But I think offensively, if and when they do get into the playoffs, I just think they're so limited and their drives can just sputter out at times. Yeah. And their defense is good, but the defense also needs help from its offense to stay on the field, make longer drives.
The defense is good, but I think it was a little bit overrated. We had a pretty easy schedule early on.
Oh, so, trust. We went through the schedule multiple times.
The rankings got a little inflated.
Yes.
All right. Maybe we weren't the best defense in the league. Maybe we weren't. So, yeah, I completely agree. I think
wait, guys, DJ Chark just came back, your savior.
Defense is good, not as great as we thought.
I mean, Baker was killing us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was insane.
Yeah. Mike Evans, man.
I just kept seeing the note. Mike Evans, 60-yard touchdown. I was like, oh.
Bucky Bucky Irving's hurt, guys. He's hurt.
Bucky Irving, 60-yard run to steal the game. Okay.
So you see him on the sideline?
They've had a tough couple of weeks. I know they had
the
short week when they had KC, and then they played the Falcons on a short week. Then you have Tampa this week, and Tampa's been running the table. And then they got the short week again. They got Broncos on Thursday.
Oh, they got fucked.
So their schedule these past couple of weeks has been on the rougher side. But they did start out ahead. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be able to pull out a win against the Broncos, who have kind of been up and down. Even though the Broncos have been good this year, they've been up and down as well with that offense at times. It's going to be a good game on Thursday, but in my opinion, this is a must-win for both in terms of playoff chances. I know there's not really anybody like threatening to make the playoffs, but out of the AFC,
still sadly,
it'd legit be like Cincinnati. Yeah,
Cincinnati and Miami. Oof.
And Cincinnati, the only way that they would win is if the Broncos or Chargers lose out. Basically,
so, basically whoever loses this game on Thursday loses out.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. But the Chargers, kind of, I guess, thrown in the same conversation as the Broncos, like two overperforming teams. Yeah. But
neither of these teams expected, I don't think. Really expected to be here.
I know nobody said the Chargers were going to win 10 games.
No, man. 10 was insane.
There. We're right
10 was
there.
Insane.
I mean, Broncos are fighting for a playoff spot. The
I thought they were going to
Broncos.
be. Their over under was like 4.5
What?
or 5. It might have been 5.5, but it was
Holy
low.
shit.
I know it was one of the two.
If I told you guys before the year that the Jets, the Bengals, and the Dolphins were all going to miss the playoffs, but the Broncos were going to be pretty much a lock for the playoffs at this point in the year, and the Vikings were going to be in play for the 1 seed at the start of the year, it'd be
You just threw in an
crazy.
NFC team for no reason. We're talking all AFC. They said Vikings.
Yeah, because the Vikings were. Nick said the Vikings were going to
Fucking-
finish
they're fucking
last in the
AFC.
division.
I'm
I'm just talking about the NFL in
Can
general.
you blame me?
Like the Cowboys aren't going to make the playoffs. If I would have said that before the year, that would have been looked at as
I would have
crazy.
believed it. I probably fucking believed it. Insane.
Steelers are going to win the division. Nobody thought that was happening.
Nobody said that.
You know,
And
I
nobody said
actually
that.
did bet the under.
Our under?
I bet the under. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I should have bet on us to win
It was
the division.
9.5.
We were plus 7.5, 750 to win the division this year. We were at the bottom. We were supposed to be the worst.
I mean,
We
yeah.
were supposed to suck.
These were 9.5 with Russell or with Justin Fields going as the starting quarterback, bro.
Oh, look
But hey,
at you now,
y'all-
clown.
y'all
Look
not
at you
y'all
now.
not in this position without him though. Them first couple
That's what
games,
I'm
y'all not
saying.
here without them.
That's what I'm saying. 4-1.
4-1.
4-1 right there.
God, y'all full home Fields too. I was like, damn. I came on this pod. I was like, Russ ain't the
Took
guy.
him out.
It's Fields. You gotta keep Fields in there. It's the
Me
continuity.
too.
They don't get it. Russ out there, fucking
Mr.
moving ball on Thursday night.
Unlimited. No.
Oh my goodness.
All
But
this for another 1-year deal next year. No.
we can get into kind of that afternoon piece and slate. Did Josh Allen just wrap up the MVP conversations this past weekend? Or how big is the gap? Because I know I said something every time I say something in the chat. We talking for hours about it. Listen,
Yeah.
J-Mo getting benched this.
Did
J-Mo,
that-
he's not open. He's
I
not
don't
open.
understand.
PTR, welcome
I
to the starting
understand.
lineup.
Oh
don't
my
understand.
God.
I think you
Every
get
time-
infinite more upside from getting Jameis Winston in that starting lineup. Infinitely more upside.
I'm looking at that game before we get into what we were talking about. I was looking at the game. I was like, Jameis, like nobody's down there. Like nobody is in the end zone. Like
He's just throwing it. He's just throwing it. It's simple. I love watching him. He's just simply throwing that shit.
Oh man. Anyways,
The
we were
Chiefs corner
talking
say he was
about-
looking up at the Megatron. I saw him launch it in the Megatron.
oh my. But I brought up how the gap between Allen and Lamar for the MVP. I think there's a decently sized gap. Even though Lamar has the touchdown and interception ratio, Lamar's been phenomenal all year. But like Josh Allen, I feel like has been the best player in football all year. He's elevated that team. I know we've talked about like underrated weapons offensively for the Bills, but no real top end weapons at any of those positions for the wide receivers. Kincaid's a fine tight end. I'm not gonna say he's up there with the elite level tight ends.
He's missed time though.
He's also missed time. Like people were ready to say this Bills team was gonna regress, but like another situation where like less can be more. You lose a lot of people on the team, but then you somehow get better.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the majority because of Josh Allen and what he's been able to do. But Lamar's also had a great year. But I think it's just.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's wrapped up because obviously there's still time to play. We still got meaningful games to play. So I don't think it's wrapped up till the end of the season. But yeah, as of right now, Josh Allen's gonna take it. Which is again, I sent the text yesterday. I think it was like Lamar's 34-3 touchdown interception ratio. Like that's just insane. It's just insane. But he's won 2 straight. And voters fatigue is a thing. And buddy, you ain't getting 3 straight. Not with Josh Allen playing like this.
He won 2 straight?
Yeah, right?
No. What?
Am I tweaking?
Yeah. Hold on.
No, because Mahomes won 2 years ago.
Oh, did
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's won 2. He's won 2. So this
He
will be
has
his third
to.
one.
Yeah,
Not 3 in a
yeah,
row.
yeah,
This will be his third. Okay.
There you go.
My
Yeah.
bad. I just don't think they give. I think this is just like a here, bro. Take your MVP and stop talking to us about it, Josh Allen. God damn, take the MVP and shut up.
Like when I'm looking at what is left, because the Ravens still have to play the Steelers.
Ooh.
And
Lamar stinker.
Yeah, and like Lamar just always plays like terrible against the Steelers. But when I'm looking at I think it's wrapped up when I'm looking at the future, right? So they're 11-3. They have the Patriots, Jets, and the Patriots at the end of the year. So that should be 14 wins.
You think he tries to like stack these touchdowns?
I mean, if
Does
they get to
go out and try to like throw 4,
he's already doing it, bro.
like
He's already doing it. The last 2 weeks, he's had 4 rushing touchdowns because of one. He is Jalen Hurts right now. He is trying to put up Jalen Hurts rushing numbers right now. He's just taking the ball in the one, and he's like, I'm gonna do it myself to get these stats. Fuck James Cook. Fuck the running backs.
2 rushing
It's
touchdowns
me.
last week.
yeah.
At the 1 yard line.
James Cook did it. Were James Cook's both touchdowns?
Oh
from
no,
the
no,
one?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Josh Allen also had 2
Right.
Mm-hmm.
at the 1 yard line.
Can you
Sorry.
blame him? He's the biggest quarterback ever.
Whoa, what do you mean by that?
Biggest quarterback ever.
Crazy. No,
If they end up 14-3, like I just don't really think that at the end of the season there's going to be that much of an argument, especially
I
if the
think
Ravens end up with
probably
like 11 wins.
I think
they
if
have 9 right
if
now.
the Ravens lose this week to the Steelers and Lamar has a mid game, it wraps it up. I think right now, currently it is neck and neck with how they are playing. But if either of them has a shitter game, I think the other one jumps very far. If they based on the scheduling too, right? Like the Ravens have a tough matchup against the Steelers just because we play Lamar well. Who do the Bills play again?
Patriots, Jets, and the Patriots.
Like they have a cakewalk. like Josh Allen could legitimately go out again this week, put up 350 and 3 touchdowns, and Lamar could put up 250 and 1 passing touchdown. And in my opinion, like at that point, Josh Allen then does have a gap because like I think it's neck and neck, but it's not going to take a lot for Josh Allen to make that jump or for Lamar to make that jump. Let's say the Patriots defense comes out and fucking hoops and Josh Allen throws 3 picks and Lamar's like, you know what? I'm going to fucking go win us this division. And he puts up 3 touchdowns. Then I think Lamar's the front runner. And then there is that gap as well. So I think it's easy. I don't think there's a gap right now, but I think there's easy enough ways for Josh Allen or Lamar to make a gap if they wanted to.
That Jets game, I promise you the Jets are going to be trying their absolute hardest to play spoiler when they play the Bills in that game.
100%.
So it's going to be that game's actually in New York. I'm pretty no, it's in never mind, it's in Buffalo. That's going to be a walk. But I guess it's so hard to like word it when I was trying to say over text is basically what you said, Will.
Yeah.
I think there is a gap, a small one, but with what could happen this next week or two, I think the gap could get really large by the end of the year for either guy, in my opinion.
100%. I think Josh is leading. I think you were right when in that opinion. I think Josh is leading just because of what he's doing, and watching him play. I mean, he is making plays like Lamar was making last year as a quarterback. And even though Lamar's having a statistically better year, the stats weren't why people voted Lamar MVP last year. I mean, Lamar was legitimately the most elusive person on that field every single game he went out, and you would just watch him run around that pocket and make people miss, and then find fucking Isaiah Likely down the field for 40 yards somehow. And so that's why he won MVP. I don't think Lamar's stats last year or anything blow you out of the water, but Josh Allen's doing that and putting up crazy ass stats. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But what does that look for, Nick?
I just think you don't even know.
What?
I think you just said that. I think you just said Lamar. You don't even know if Lamar had the stats. I think you just said that.
He didn't.
You might be right. You might be right, but I don't think you know that at all. I think
we're gonna go look up Lamar stats. And
what I do remember is Lamar won that MVP when he beat Brock Purdy on Christmas. Yeah. Does that do anything to this conversation?
Oh yeah,
Probably
I mean
not.
they went into San Fran. They went into San Fran and
because it was him versus Brock Purdy for the MVP, and he straight up destroyed them.
Oh, here we go. 2023. Give me these stats. Fuck. I need his totals here. Okay. Yards wise. So this year he's at 3,580 for passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 3 picks, 76 QBR. Okay. Last year, 3,678 passing yards, 24-7 TD to interception ratio, 65.4 QBR. So the stats are just not
Not what they
blow
are
you out of the
this year.
water. Like not like 34-3 in interception ratio. The QBR is better. He's already almost passed his yards from last year. And he won MVP. That's what I was
crazy.
getting at.
They added Derrick Henry and he's passing more.
Doesn't make
Passing
sense.
for more yards already.
Yeah.
Doesn't
that's
make
wild.
sense.
But
What's his rushing look like from last year to this year?
So last year he had 821 yards, and this year he is
like
at 743 already.
Yeah, 740.
So Derek has helped Lamar's statistics, I think, overall, period, because a lot of these read options are working out in Lamar's favor now because you have to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And so Lamar's having the better year, but I think Josh Allen is having maybe the flashier year with the stats that are somewhat matching Lamar as well. So I think that's why I put Josh Allen over Lamar right now. I don't even know if that makes sense, but
I think Josh Allen's also had more moments. The Ravens have had some bad losses this year.
that works too. That makes more sense, actually. I think that's kind of where I was going with that. But
like, I mean, he had the win over KC. I mean, Detroit's been the best team in football consistently pretty much all year. I mean, they go into Detroit and hang up almost 50. But even though that Detroit defense is hurt, I mean, still, I mean, they couldn't do anything with Buffalo at any point in that game defensively. So I don't know. I think
he did lose to Lamar.
He did lose to Lamar
by 25.
He did lose.
He did get shit off by Lamar, but
so it's definitely interesting, for sure. But I have to lean Allen at the moment. But getting into
or Saquon, huh?
He 3.
He's done.
He 3, but he down there at 3. Like you've got Allen and Lamar, and then you've got like
who's gonna break the record? We're just be like,
you got Saquon like there, you know.
Saquon.
He's gonna break.
That you broke the
like.
record.
Sorry, Jalen Hurts steals every single one of your rushing touchdowns, and you just don't have them. You don't have them.
If you added like another what, like 10 to 11 touchdowns.
Yeah,
oh god, you'd have a stupid amount if Jalen Hurts didn't just tush push at the one.
Like they don't even try to give it to Saquon. It's just automatic tush push.
Yeah, every time.
I'm like, at some point, like, if I'm Saquon, I'm like,
I'm
man, like I'm
Does
mad.
Jalen Hurts have more than Saquon in rushing touchdowns? Are they neck and neck? It's got to be close.
It's got to be close, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Jalen Hurts gets 2 every game, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, rushing, he's at. Where is it? No. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll find him.
It's almost like they go down at the 1 on purpose so they can tush push.
He might. I mean, fuck it. You know?
Like with how consistently they get in those situations.
Really long Saquon runs, too.
Holy
I'll see like a
shit.
50-yard Saquon run. He gets tackled at the 2.
14 rushing touchdowns.
Saquon or Hurts?
No, Hurts.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
That's why I'm in the playoffs in the keeper.
True. And Saquon is only at 11.
Wow.
That is insane.
So Saquon should probably have like 19.
Yeah, I was thinking like 8.
Oh, yeah.
Conservatively,
easy.
like let's say they because they tush push and it's so efficient, let's say they don't get a few of those rushing touchdowns because they probably end up missing them.
So he should break 20 by the end of the year, like pretty easily.
17 to 18.
Yeah.
God. That's insane.
That hurts his case.
Which,
it does.
Was crazy last year for getting 20. I remember everyone was glazing Mostert for getting 20.
Yeah. And like realistically, Saquon could probably have gotten 22.
Yeah.
If we are guessing what he should be at.
And he has some receiving ones too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was Mostert's total touchdowns was 20, right?
I don't remember, honestly.
Something like that.
It could have been.
We can kind of jump into the Lions because their defense is completely cooked. I feel like now the NFC playoff picture is kind of looking a little bit different, a little bit more open compared to a couple weeks ago. But they're just losing everybody. You just lose Montgomery for the rest of the year as well. Now it's all really on Gibbs. I feel like that kind of Gibbs is obviously really good back, but I feel like you kind of lose that dynamic ability with Montgomery as well. You're going to really lean on Gibbs now, which is going to be interesting. It's weird because their offense has pretty much stayed intact, but their defense has completely been lost to IR. And their defense already wasn't anything crazy.
At the beginning of the year, we said it was pretty known that was their Achilles heel was their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle of the year, after they had already sustained some of those injuries, they started like picking it up with some of their backups even. And then
Right.
again, you like some of those guys that were stepping up, you just lose those guys too. And now we're on to all training camp or like guys off the street. Jamal
It's
Adams.
tough. It's
I did
tough
see
because
Jamal
like
Adams out there.
there are some teams in the AFC, like offensive wise, like the Broncos and the Chargers, where like you're not really crazy about their offenses of teams that they could play in the wild card. Man, like Tampa can legit put 40 on you. Like the Rams can put 40 on you. The Vikings can put 40 on you. Like the Eagles can put 40. Like every team that is going to be playing in the NFC playoff, and obviously it's the playoffs, so every team is going to be good, but has high-powered offenses that are driven through their team. So like it's going to be a tough ask for really this Lions offense to kind of like keep them in games.
They need the 1 seed so bad, bro.
Yeah.
They need it the most.
They could mess around and go to LA. To the
Good
Rams.
Night. Say goodnight.
In the wild card and have like 13 wins.
That's crazy.
And like,
God.
like we're looking at a possible if they end up not winning the division, they're in the wild card. It's basically 2 different playoff rematches from last year with them or the Bucs or them or the Rams.
I'd be okay with it, to be honest.
Oh my God, they could lose to the Bucs too. Like, fuck! Oh my fucking God, they're gonna do all this to be first round bounce, bro. If they don't win the North, holy shit.
So they have the
That would
Bears.
suck.
They have the Bears next week. They have the Niners the week after, and then they end up with the Vikings. Is their last 3.
Control their own destiny.
Yeah.
The Vikings control their own destiny.
The Vikings actually, I'm pretty sure, have the toughest last 3 games in the league.
Who is it?
At Seattle, which
Okay,
looking at this like a couple days ago before the Geno shit, even then, that was a tough game in Seattle. You go and play Green Bay, then Detroit. Those are their last 3.
Hardest last 2 in the league for sure. I never believed in Seattle.
I don't know. That's this Steelers 4-team run we have to go through is fucked, bro. Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens. I mean the Bengals. I mean, is it the Bengals or the Browns? I think it's the Browns actually.
God, don't let the Bengals have to win that game to get to the playoffs.
Well, like that 4-team span is fucked. Fuck these guys. Fuck the NFL. This is crazy. This is dumb. Yeah, we go. So we just went
division game till week 10. Expect
like we just went Eagles, Ravens. Oh, we go Eagles, then Ravens, Chiefs, and then Bengals. We're at home at least for the Chiefs and Bengals, but that's not gonna fucking matter. And then we're in Baltimore, and we were in Philly.
Both that Ravens and Steelers game and the Vikings and Lions game in that last week could both be for the division.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It could stack up that way.
Fuck. That's going to be fucked.
And then the only thing that would be different is like that Lions and Vikings game could fuck around be for the 1 seed. So like
there's a lot of implications coming down.
A lot of
I like it though cuz it means like no one's going to be sitting starters, bro. Like maybe if the Chiefs go out and win this game and the Bills for some reason lose one, they could sit some people.
Yeah.
But like the last few years we've had the last week be like, Lamar ain't playing, Pat ain't playing, like You've had some. You're just like, oh, sick. I get to watch shit football week 17. But like the way these divisions are working, like we're gonna actually have a good week 17. Like there's a lot of implications that could come out.
Falcons
coming out these
Bucs,
last few.
play the last week of the season too.
Yeah.
The Bucs basically have to win out because the Falcons have the tiebreaker.
Yep.
I'm excited for this.
And like the Panthers are gonna be one to play spoiler. Like that's the game because the Bucs actually lost that game last year in Carolina. I'm pretty sure.
Bryce Young, prove it wasn't you. It was never you. It was never him. It was never him.
It's crazy because I was watching a little bit too much of that Cowboys and Panthers game. Like, when it comes down to when Micah Parsons playing a bad team, best player in the league. Like, that man was after Bryce Young every play. Like, But, like, looking at the Lions, like you said, I think they definitely need to try to get that 1 seed because the Vikings and Eagles were kind of just sitting there waiting for the Lions to lose the game for the window to open for this possibility. because they just had a game up on the Eagles and the Vikings. So like, if they didn't lose, it wasn't going to matter. So now that the loss has happened, and the Eagles have legit a cakewalk the rest of the way, and the Vikings now have control of their own destiny, like it would be the toughest out for the Lions to have to go on the road
They
after
really
what
won
they've done this year.
They really won 11 straight, and then you lose one, and you're now one game away from being the 5 seed.
Yeah,
insane. Just, that sucks.
and it's even crazy. Like, could you imagine if you're like Green Bay? I'm like, man, we go be a 12-win team, and we're
We're gonna win 12 games and simply be the 6th seed. Not even have a chance. We're third in our division. Not even a chance, dude.
I'm sitting here. I was talking to my dad watching us play the Bears yesterday, and I'm just like, who would want to go coach the Bears? Look at that division. All 3 of these teams are going to be up for like in the next decade. Why would I want to go coach the Bears in this division? I'm like, wow, the Lions are going to win 13 games next year. Fuck around, be the 2 seed because the Packers won 14.
Yeah,
it's going to be stupid. Like, that's how tough the division is, and it makes it just super entertaining. Just because I'm a fan of a team in that division, to where like all those division games matter. Like, thank God the win at Lambeau earlier in the year for us is turning out to be massive, because now we get the Packers at home. We have a chance to sweep them, sweep the Bears, and then we get a chance to possibly be the 1 seed, and that'd be huge for us. Huge for any of the teams.
Yeah,
because all 3 of the teams have strong home fields, to where if you have to go there and the NFC playoffs runs through there, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I think just having a bye in this NFC, dude. Not having to play a game right away, because again, like you said, all these teams are dangerous. You can lose to anybody, I think.
Dude, what if the Niners were healthy too? Like,
yeah, it'd be.
God, that NFC would be fucking loaded. It's already
what
pretty.
If the Cowboys
loaded,
were healthy,
but like, okay,
man, I can.
I mean,
imagine.
damn,
but if the Niners were healthy, you would say they would probably win that division if they were healthy all year. So then you're looking at like your wild card legit being like a 13 to 12 to 14 win Vikings / Lions team, 10 to 12 win Green Bay team, and then like a 10 to 11 win Rams team. Like, that would be your wild card.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Which would be insane.
That's crazy.
And then you just have like Tampa at a gritty 9-9 wins.
9-8,
missing out.
getting a home field advantage.
The most gritty 9 wins.
Fucking Christ.
But man, you don't want to go to Tampa.
Fuck no. Baker versus the Lions again.
We can kind of wrap it up with kind of talking about a little bit of the Falcons situation, because Kirk Cousins, these have been like the most rough past couple of weeks. Like, they don't trust him throwing the ball at all. If you just watched any bit of that Falcons Raiders game, it was hand the ball off. They ran it on like a 3rd and 7. And just because they didn't want Kirk to throw the ball.
Yeah, and then they throw the ball on the fucking the last play of the fucking game. Like, what was that shit? Like, I don't understand this team, bro. They make no sense. I don't know if it's the OC. I don't know if it's Morris. It's definitely Kirk. I know that's an issue. But you have no faith in him the entire fucking game. And then you're like, you know what, Kirk? Well, let's get it back right here. Let's get the fucking confidence back right here with the game on the fucking line. And you run a fucking quick slant over the middle, and he misses the throw. Like, fuck. It was, oh my God. It's just bad. I didn't want them to be this bad, but fuck. They look bad.
This has just kind of been, because, God, they started out fine. They had a kind of a tougher schedule to start the year, but then you sweep Tampa, and then you're like, okay, well, basically you have the division under wraps because you swept Tampa, and if there's any implications, you have the tiebreaker.
Yep.
And then it's like, their defense isn't good at all, and it doesn't help that you're turning the ball over on offense. But some of those Kirk's like Cousins picks are just bad. Like, a lot of them, like when he played the Vikings, like they were just right to the defense. Like, a lot of them have just been bad. And like, it's crazy if Connor was here, because he's a big Desmond Ridder guy. That would have been the 3rd string emergency quarterback, Desmond Ridder, the revenge game against the Falcons on Monday night. Like,
I wish.
would've been the
I wanted it
dumbest
to
shit.
happen. I wanted it to happen.
Oh, they was moving that last drive. They
so
were moving.
close.
They have a timeout or two though. Gets interesting.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't have any timeouts.
What's their schedule?
The Falcons.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up because I know the Bucs. I'm pretty sure have
It's gonna be scary, man.
Panthers. Well, the Bucs. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So they play the Giants at home this next week.
Dub.
Then you got the Commanders on the road. That's gonna be a big game. That's a
That's
Sunday
a
night game.
huge game.
And then you got the Panthers to wrap it up. So that's their last three. The Bucs' last three are the Cowboys in Dallas on Sunday night.
Oh my! Sunday night? Why?
Then the Bucs have the Panthers and Saints at home.
And Derek Carr, is Derek
Carr's
Carr
not playing?
Is he gonna play? Is he done for the year? So
I think he's done for
Spencer
the year.
Rattler.
No, Jake Hayner.
He just got hurt. He got hurt in that game.
What? I didn't even see that.
Spencer Rattler came in.
Damn.
That Commanders Falcons game is going to be insanely massive for the playoff picture.
Marshawn Lattimore, a pick to end the game. His first big moment with the Commanders. The new pickup. Clinches the playoffs for the Washington Commanders.
As a Vikings fan, I need the Commanders to win this week. I need Commanders to beat the Eagles this week at home.
You do. It could happen.
It could. It could.
But it's not.
It definitely could. It's not going to though.
No.
It could.
But it could.
No, they might get shit on.
But the Falcons, man, they're just cooked. Like the defense isn't good. Kirk has really regressed.
Drake London's trying his hardest, bro. Mad respect.
I mean, Darnell Mooney's had a good year, man.
Yeah, I think he's stopped trying.
Darnell Mooney.
Low key, he looks like he's
stopped trying. He did have zero fucking receptions.
He is a candidate for my list of players that don't look like they want to play.
Who's all on that? Who's all on there?
I don't remember a lot of them, but Eddie Jackson is one of them. Eddie Jackson is one. I remember Eddie Jackson being one.
God.
Oh my God.
Kyle Fuller. It might have been Kyle Fuller. I don't know. One of the two. Either Eddie Jackson or Kyle Fuller do not want to play. And Darnell Mooney's looking quite close.
Quite close.
And we're to the point where now we ain't even complaining about Kyle Pitts not getting targets anymore. People have gave up on it. Sad.
God, but that offense was just
pick.
He was getting them.
Like that game-winning drive Kirk had against the Eagles this year, man. Like that was that game-winning. Like they go always have that in Atlanta.
That fucking 5-yard
that drive by Kirk against the Eagles, phenomenal. Those two games against Tampa, those shootouts, like they always go have those. But they went and played a gritty Raiders team on this Monday night. Special teams was hooping. That was the only reason they won that game. Special teams don't hoop the way they do.
We almost bit the dust.
I was just like when you look at the Raiders and you're like, man, they really got a gem in Brock Bowers and a really good receiver in Jacoby Myers, but they ain't got shit else. Like
Sincere McCormick. Oh, he got hurt.
I'm just looking at them. I'm like,
welcome.
I'm like, man, like whoever they draft and Brock Bowers going to eat for the next 4 years.
It's gonna be
Shador. Oh man, you still got Crosby who's out for the year on that defense. Like it's just what are the Raiders?
Nothing. They're nothing.
Like now their division's fucking stout with the Broncos and the Chargers being good. So it's like, man, there's just nothing there.
They're like that.
There's just nothing there.
Like, what do you fix first? I mean, it's got to be quarterback. So you got to go get Shador. You're probably going to lose the rest of the fucking team. You're going to lose out the season. You get the number 1 pick. You take Shador. You get Dion as a head coach.
You're Nate O-line.
What are they?
Yeah.
The Raiders are 2-12. They've lost their last 10.
God damn!
They lost the last 10.
They've
lost their last 10.
Bad.
2-12. Oh, Giants are also
10 game
Giants respectively have lost their last 9.
Mm.
They're also 2-10. Bears are 4-10. They've lost their last 8. Panthers are 3-11. So
what are the Cowboys?
So 6-8. They're a gritty 6-8 though.
That's too many wins. You don't want that many wins, Nick. I know you don't.
7. They should have 7. They should be in the hunt, like the little graphic they put up.
You don't want to be in the hunt right now, Nick.
They should be on the graphic. They should be one of the teams in the hunt at 7-7.
I'm sick of it. I don't even want to talk about it. Move on.
God, if
All
y'all
this for
would have
this
won that
mid-ass
Bengals
draft
game,
pick.
you already know how people would have been. It's Cooper, like you said at the start. It's Cooper Rush better than Dak.
Hey.
All
I'm
right.
hearing them out. I'm here for the conversation.
All right. So they think, how many picks to the draft?
There's 32.
No. How many do the Raiders have?
I don't know.
I'm trying to find it. I don't want the draft order. I need to see how many they have. I don't fucking know. I can't find it.
See, yeah, I knew it.
We can hop into the pick'ems for week 16. Do you have a Nick of how many draft picks they have?
I'm looking. I got it.
They have 8.
Yeah.
They have 8.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do have 8.
No. That was last year.
Oh my! Are we on the same one? Are we on the same?
Yeah, we are.
Does it matter?
How many picks do the... Like, this shouldn't be this hard, Google. Okay, here we go. I give up. I'm done. I'm done. You can't find it. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing.
But we can wrap it up with our week 16 pick'ems and then our updated power rankings going into this next week. So Thursday night, Broncos at Chargers.
Oh. See, I want to go. Whoa, Nick. We lost Nick?
Yeah.
What the fuck? See, I like both Knicks, but I think it's the Chargers. I think it's a bounce back spot here.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Texans at Chiefs. Saturday.
Chiefs. It's Chiefs. And
Chiefs.
If Mahomes plays, it's Chiefs.
Yeah.
Honestly, even without Mahomes.
Texans looked rough.
Yeah.
That O-line is historically bad.
Yeah.
Steelers at Ravens. If Pickens plays, give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I think I'm gonna go with the Ravens just because I've been saying all year we split with them. So I think I go with the Ravens here.
Giants at Falcons.
Yo.
Yeah.
No, I'm back.
We're in the middle of our
Falcons for
pick'ems.
sure. I got the Falcons for real. I could hear y'all talking,
Give me
but
the
my
Falcons.
screen just completely froze.
Wait,
I don't know
really?
what happened, yeah.
Oh shit. Hey, what about the first two though?
Who are they?
Chargers, Broncos. We know it's the Chargers for you.
Yeah.
And then Chiefs, Texans.
Texans.
Well. All right. Oh,
Taking the
Steelers,
Texans.
Ravens. My fault.
Steelers.
Okay.
I said Steelers if Pickens plays.
Okay.
Then we are all on the Falcons. Lions at Bears.
I mean, that's just like
Is this it?
the Lions shitter. Oh, is this where
No,
it goes
Lions.
down?
Lions.
No, give me the Bears.
This is where the Bears
In
hit rock bottom.
Chicago.
Give me
And
the
Chica-
Bears.
might be
Give me the
Lions
Bears.
are giving up 40 the past 2 weeks. They're going to score like 9 points, 10 points.
Give me the Bears.
And we're going to be like, wow, the Bears
me
are
the
really
Bears.
bad.
Give me the.
As much as I would love if the Bears got this one done for us,
No, give me the Bears.
it's the Lions. Arizona at Panthers.
Cardinals.
Panthers.
Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
I love the Cardinals. They suck. Give me the Panthers.
Rams at Jets.
Rams.
This is such a Rams loss here.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
screams Rams loss for no reason.
In New Jersey. Oh, Aaron Rodgers just came off a fucking fire ass game.
Give me
It's
the
the
Rams.
Rams.
But I'm not going to be shocked if I look at this game and I'm like, wow, Rams down a touchdown in the fourth. Like, this is sick. They just had a division in the hands. Like, now they're just going to blow it away.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles at
Mhm.
Commanders.
Eagles.
Eagles.
They want that 1 seed.
Yeah.
They smelled the blood.
Browns at Bengals.
Bengals.
Fucking DTR starting. Jesus.
Bengals. Titans at Colts.
Ooh.
Colts. Titans.
Give me the Colts.
No. They just benched Will Levis.
I don't care.
Give me the Colts.
That's a good thing.
Give me the Colts.
Mason Rudolph? You know what? Fuck it. No, but give me the Colts.
To both of them.
Vikings at Seahawks.
Vikings.
Patriots at Bills.
Bills.
Jags at Raiders.
Oh, dude. Oh,
I think the Raiders are now going to start selling. Go Jags.
Jags.
My Jags.
Niners at Dolphins.
If the Dolphins lose this one,
I mean, can the Dolphins?
It's over, bro.
Still make the
Obviously.
playoffs?
I think they can.
So Dolphins.
They'd have
I'm
to
gonna go
win
with the
out.
Dolphins then. Yeah.
Dolphins.
Wait,
the
hold on.
Dolphins.
If Jags versus Raiders, is that gonna be a throw off? Is it gonna end like 3-0? Because they're just gonna both just not try to win. The Jags want the number 1 pick too.
It's not going to be 3-0.
That'd be funny though.
Mac Jones playing for a job.
Someone's scoring.
You're right.
Someone's scoring.
You're just like watching Mac just throwing it away.
Come
Like
on.
he gets to the ball and then he's like, "Fuck it," just throws it out of bounds.
Then
They're all trying to lose.
Jerome Ford is going to try his, or not Jerome Ford.
Tank Bigsby.
ETN and Tank Bigsby are going to try their asses off.
You're right. You're right.
They're going to try their asses off.
Bucs at Cowboys.
Bucs.
Yeah, Bucs.
Bucs. Saints at Packers.
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 Go Packers.
That wraps up our pick'ems for this upcoming week. We have our updated power rankings going into week 16. Number 1, we have the Bills. Number 2, we have the Eagles. Number 3, we have Kansas City. Number 4, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Number 5, Detroit Lions. Number 6, Baltimore Ravens. Number 7, Green Bay Packers. Number 8, LA Rams. Number 9, Pittsburgh Steelers. And number 10, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the bubble was the Denver Broncos at 11.
Yo.
But those are our power rankings. You guys want to wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did find their picks. I found their picks. Hold on. Sorry. They have all of their picks, and then they have that conditional from the Devontae Adams trade.
So they have 8 picks, like we said.
Yeah. But that was still from last year's. That we were definitely looking at last year's stats.
Maybe I wasn't.
No, you think
Maybe
you
I
were.
wasn't.
I think you were.
But we can wrap it up there. Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Obviously, tune in to future episodes.